So I've been crying for maybe 3 hours since I finished this fucking book. This is one of the definitions of why the fuck would you write this? Because it does have a happily ever after, y'all, but what the fuck? What the actual fuck? This book, I have no words. There's no amount of stars I could give it. There's no amount of fucked up that this book is not. It made me love it. It made me want to cry, throw up, scream. I literally threw this book across the room and dented it. Y'all see that in the corner. That's how dramatic I was being while reading this book. It infuriated me in so many ways. And, ooh, child. Y'all, I never read a fucking book this dark. Like this, if anything can invoke any type of emotions in me that make me so angry, so heartbroken and frustrated. Astoria was abused by this man, y'all, like by every man, and she still like found the capacity to love. Like, this book is fucked up. I don't know if I can recommend it with a good conscience, but I'm a recommend it because I know a lot of my girlies on here, especially a lot of my book talk girlies that I'm really close with. Y'all read a lot of dark shit with me. And I don't want to steer y'all away from this book just because of the trigger warnings. But at the same time, please be conscious of the trigger warnings. This shit is dark. I've never really cried reading a book before. And this is genuinely the first book that has ever made me cry. And I've read a lot of shit, a lot of dark shit. Like, y'all, when I say y'all, I done read some shit. But this takes the cake. I cannot recommend it enough. I think anyone that has the stomach to handle non-con physical abuse, torture, anything like that should read this book. And this is Stockholm Syndrome. She is definitely in love with the devil. This man is pure evil. Like, not a loving bone in his body. I mean, there is one, and I won't disclose what that is. And at some point, she does get him to kind of see the error of his ways without doing so. But it took him hurting her so much so to the point that he broke. I don't even know how that's fucking possible, that you break someone so badly that you break yourself. And I don't know if that kind of describes the way this book makes you feel, but this book brought out every single emotion in me, and I don't fucking know, y'all. I don't know. If you want to read this, it's horror, but it does end with a happily ever after, and it's definitely Stockholm Syndrome. Y'all cannot go into this thinking that this is a love story. It's forced. All of it is non-con. All of it. Do not, just like I assumed from the beginning, y'all, this is fucking non-con, the whole book. In a lot of aspects, I feel like she could have gotten away, but she made the decision she made because of who she is. And who she is it's a fucked up individual. She's a fucked up individual herself because of the things that happened to her, not because of the things that she's done, but because of what was done to her. So y'all, please tread lightly when reading this book, but I highly recommend it. It has all the stars for me because it has all the stars for me. It simply has all the stars for me because of the emotions it gave me. I've never been so thoroughly pissed and turned on by a book. It had the dirtiest sex scenes I've ever read in a book in my life. So that's what's going to get you into it. I suggest you fucking do it and hop on it right now. But if the triggers are too much for you, I will say they do start at the beginning of the book. The whole thing through and through is triggers. And I barely made it through myself. It took me about 5 to 7 days to read this book. I don't know what that says about it, but if you can handle it, do it. I'm giving it, me personally, all of the stars in the world that I can because I absolutely fucking love it. It's a new favorite on my shelf, and I'm glad I have it. The author did her 1-2 with this. Baby. And y'all, do not take the trigger warnings lightly. I can't say that enough. I will repeat it as many times as I have to. Check the triggers.